Life is like a candy cane here in Duckburg. Snowflakes present Santa's sleigh. It's a duckler. Might make bells jingle. Or trap Kris Kringle. DuckTales. Christmas Eve, we're out there making DuckTales. Tales of Christmas past and Yuletide luck tales.
Ba-dum-bum-bum. All right, welcome everybody to the St. Canard Files, a Darkwing Duck podcast, and today we are bringing you the Flashquack Christmas episode. I'm your host, Will Santana, and
I'm Mike Russo, and after all, there's only one more sleep till Christmas.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Mike.
Merry Christmas, Will.
Hey, man, you excited? You left some milk and cookies out there?
Yes, we did. It's, you know what, it's a big Christmas for us. This is, my daughter turned 5 in October, and this is the year she's really into Christmas this year with helping us decorate and asking all those hard questions about Santa Claus. You know, the questions kids ask. Get your kids out of the room, guys. But Will, do your daughter still believe?
Yeah, I know one of them does for sure. The oldest, I don't know. I think she's aware, but she's still playing along.
Yeah, I guess you kind of have to when you have a younger sibling. But my kid's so practical that she's already asking, how's he get in the house? We don't have a chimney. How does he come in? How does he do this? And I don't know how many Christmases we have left, and she's only 5 for this Santa Claus thing. But, hey, it is what it is. She still loves Christmas. We all love Christmas.
Yeah,
and
man.
for me, Christmas and Disney go hand in hand.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, the purpose of this Flashquack episodes for our listeners, Mike reached out to me and said he wanted to have a Flashquack episode talking about Disney Christmas movies. Unfortunately, I don't traditionally watch Disney Christmas movies. I do watch them, but they kind of go in a rotation. I do have my traditional Christmas movies. My wife has one as well. But, you know, I see all the Disney ones. They go in my rotation, so I can join you in this discussion, Mike, you know, and,
right.
You know, we'll talk out a little bit outside of Disney as well.
Yeah, and if, you know, you guys listening haven't already figured it out, I'm a little bit obsessive. Every year, our family writes a Christmas watch list that we make sure we watch as much stuff as we can before Christmas. And a lot of it's Disney, some of it's not, but it's a lot of it's the stuff we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
So why don't we just get started? All and right. I'll start from the top. Basically, this is probably going to be the oldest thing we're going to be talking about ever, probably on this podcast. Now, Will, are you familiar with the Disney Silly Symphonies cartoons?
No, I'm not.
The cartoons from the 1930s, the early Walt Disney ones, they were called Silly Symphonies because they were basically just musical cartoons. Yeah. Some of the earliest Disney cartoons I ever really saw in my childhood were Christmas cartoons, and a lot of them, because they were packaged in television specials, like if you had cable, it was like the Disney Channel Christmas. I know they would air something called From All of Us to All of You, where they would like put like Christmas scenes from like different shorts, or like a snow scene from like Bambi. And I would watch Santa's Workshop and The Night Before Christmas. And they would show, it was like really, really old cartoons from 1932 and 1933. I know one of them is actually on Disney Plus. I think it's Santa's Workshop. So anybody listening who wants to check out a super old Disney cartoon, it's called Santa's Workshop. Disney Plus has got it. But I remember watching those. And funny enough, you know what Disney characters starred in the most Christmas cartoons back in the day?
Who's that?
Chip and Dale.
Oh, really? Well, that kind of makes sense because they were always in the trees and stuff.
Yeah, and one of them was Toy Tinkers. It was a Donald Duck cartoon. But I'll bet you, and probably most people listening, are most familiar with Pluto's Christmas Tree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we all know Pluto's Christmas Tree.
Yeah, everybody's know that one.
Yeah, that's always on our Christmas watch list. I love that cartoon. It makes me want to live inside a Christmas tree. It's like so well done. I love it. Like when I was a kid, I would just lay down under my Christmas tree and look up inside it and like visualize that cartoon. I mean, obviously not anymore. That'd be a little silly. But yeah, I love that cartoon, Pluto's Christmas Tree, 1952. So old cartoon, but you know, it's on Disney Plus. Toy Tinkers is not. It's a little violent for a Donald Duck cartoon, so I'm not shocked it's up there. But Pluto's Christmas Tree is. But how about you, Will? Are there things you would watch? Let's jump back to you. Tell me things you would enjoy watching.
Okay, it's for Disney. I'm just gonna say Disney. Let's stay on the Disney for topic first.
Right.
I do like the Once and Twice Upon a Christmas. I'm a big fan of the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, but I only like part 1 and 2. I'm not a fan of part 3 at all.
Yeah, I've seen enough of part 3 to know I don't need to ever see that all the way through. Part 1 is good though.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I really like it. You know, Tim Allen. I don't know what people think of him with Disney because Jungle to Jungle was like kind of a bust, even though I like that movie. I know most people don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Tim Allen, I kind of run hot and cold on. I liked him in Home Improvement. I love him as Buzz Lightyear. I don't like a lot of the recent stuff he's done though. But nobody's perfect.
So he's kind of like a hit and miss for you, huh?
Very hit and miss, yeah.
Okay. I do like Jim Carrey's Disney Christmas Carol, the animated one. I think mainly because I bought that one in 3D, and the 3D effects and the depth in that one, it just looks amazing. But I just don't watch that one traditionally.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the motion capture movies like that one and the Polar Express. The animation style in those films really throw me off. Not a fan.
I never saw the Jonathan Taylor Thomas one, that I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've never seen it though.
Yeah. I need to watch Mickey's Christmas Carol. I haven't watched that one in probably 8 to 10 years.
Well, you know what? It's great you brought that up because that's the next one I want to talk about.
All right, go for it.
Mickey's Christmas Carol is probably the earliest Disney anything I ever saw. Like I don't have many memories before watching Mickey's Christmas Carol, and that's like a number one, along with A Charlie Brown Christmas and the Muppet Family Christmas, which I'm not going to talk about because Disney doesn't own either of those. But although Muppet Family Christmas is one of my favorite Christmas specials ever. But Mickey's Christmas Carol, that was pretty big for the time. It came out in '83. Mickey had been retired for 30 years before that cartoon came out.
Oh, wow.
And it was a featurette that was playing alongside a re-release of The Rescuers. It was actually the very first time, at least on film, I believe, that Wayne Allwine played Mickey Mouse, Alan Young played Uncle Scrooge, and it was the very last time before his death, at least on film, that Clarence Nash played Donald Duck.
Mm-hmm.
And Glenn Kane animated on it. Mark Henn animated on it. He animated Mickey. It has John Lasseter it's the one credit he got for a Disney film before Pixar. And here's a name you would definitely recognize right away because we've mentioned him. The layouts, part of the layout crew, Mike Peraza.
Oh, hey.
Yes, the short starts with special opening credits, and they're like it's special pieces of art of the different characters in the special, and he drew all of that himself.
Yeah.
And he often posts about it on Facebook. And last year, when the new DuckTales Christmas episode came out, they asked him to draw the end credits the same way he did Mickey's Christmas Carol. Which is really cool. Next time you watch Mickey's Christmas Carol, you'll know exactly who drew that stuff. Mike Peraza.
Hey, shout out to Mike Peraza, man.
Yeah.
Long-time Disney veteran.
Yep. And the Darkwing connection right there.
All right, I'm gonna be a little negative here, though, Mike.
Go for it.
There's a few Disney Christmas Disney movies that I just don't care for. Probably never even saw them. Probably never will. Those Santa Paws and Santa Buddy movies.
Oh my God, those are made for like the most undemanding children. Like those are the kind of things I wouldn't even put on for my kid. And if she was to ask, I'd be like, no, there are better things to watch. I know it's all on Disney Plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen the Muppet Christmas Carol movie, but I don't, for some reason, my mind just drawing blank on they had another Christmas one. It was like a Letter to Santa or something.
Yeah, that was a lot more recent. The Muppet Christmas, A Letter to Santa, 2008, I think. But okay. Muppet Christmas Carol is very special to me. Only 2.5 years after Jim Henson died, they made this film. His son directed it, Brian Henson.
Mm-hmm.
And You know, it still has most of the old Muppet cast. Got Frank Oz in it. I love it. I think it's, to me, even though Muppets are in it, I think it's like the most definitive retelling of the Christmas Carol, even with Muppets in it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they made a great choice in this film by having Gonzo play Charles Dickens, and he could actually quote the story.
Mm-hmm.
Where you really couldn't do that in most other film adaptations, but by having the Muppets in it and Gonzo playing Charles Dickens, they can quote actual lines from the book, and the movie's funny, but it's also dramatic. It's like, I love Michael Caine in it.
Okay.
He's a really great Scrooge. We haven't watched it yet, because we're recording this before Christmas Eve. I'll admit, this will be the first year my daughter watches it. Because there are parts that are kind of scary, but I think she's ready for it. Yeah, Muppet Christmas Carol. The only Muppet thing I like more for Christmas is the Muppet Family Christmas. It's got Sesame Street in it. It's got the Fraggle Rock in it. It's very hard to see now because all those characters are owned by different companies,
mm-hmm.
and they can't put it on DVD. And even when they used to, back when Disney didn't own the Muppets, they cut out all these songs for licensing rights. So unless you have a bootleg or are using YouTube, it's a hard special to see, but I highly recommend it, Will, if you haven't seen it lately.
Okay.
It's like one of the last truly great things Jim Henson ever did, and he's actually in the special. He cameos in it. Muppets and Christmas, even more so than Disney. Muppets and Christmas go great together. But bring up something else. Let's talk about other Christmas things.
Okay, well, let me stay Disney. A little bit longer, and then we'll move on. What about Winnie the Pooh?
Winnie the Pooh. I know they did some Christmas Pooh stuff,
mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen any of it recently.
What about Frozen and that Olaf Frozen adventure? Would you consider those Christmas? I don't really consider them Christmas movies.
Not Frozen. Frozen
mm-hmm.
itself, yeah, it's got all that winter stuff, but it isn't a Christmas movie. Neither is Frozen 2. But Olaf's Frozen Adventure definitely is. That is straight out a Christmas movie. It's a short.
I know Beauty and the Beast had a Christmas one.
We watched that. The
Enchanted.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never seen that one.
We watched it recently. I'm not a big fan of it. I think Beauty and the Beast as a movie is too good to have sequels like that. But it's all right. I mean, again, it's on Disney Plus. So if anybody's listening is a member of Disney Plus, you can watch it for free. Whatever. It's not terrible. But we do like Olaf's Frozen Adventure. We're a big Frozen family. My daughter loves it. My wife loves it. I do enjoy Frozen. I'm not going to be one of those people who are like, oh, I can't stand it. I love the Frozen film. And Olaf's Frozen Adventure, the funniest thing about that is how they played it before Coco,
mm-hmm.
and nobody going to the theater knew it was like a 25-minute special. And everybody got so mad, and it got like such poor reviews, Olaf's Frozen Adventure, even though it's decent, but nobody was expecting like a 25-minute Frozen special before Coco. But we love it. It's really enjoyable. It's cute. If anyone listening likes Frozen and hasn't seen it, give it a shot. The music is great. I'm not going to knock it. We do enjoy it. What I love that's not Disney and isn't family friendly really all that much, I love Gremlins.
Okay, Gremlins. Well, hold on. Before we move on out of Disney.
Okay, ahead of myself.
One last thing, Mike. I'm gonna let you have this one though. Disney Afternoon Christmas.
I was gonna get there. That was like what I was truly going to build to. But let's talk about Disney Afternoon Christmas because there were a few Disney Afternoon Christmas episodes. There absolutely were. Of course, the most relevant for our podcast, of course, is It's a Wonderful Leaf, the Darkwing Duck Christmas episode, which, guys, we'll get to.
Yeah, we can't talk too in depth about that one right now.
Yeah, eventually we'll get to it. But let me just say, I like it. So look forward to a very positive review of that one for me when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Tailspin Christmas episode, which holds the distinction of being the first Disney Afternoon Christmas special because DuckTales and Rescue Rangers didn't have any for whatever reason. I actually did watch the Tailspin Christmas episode recently. It's called A Jolly Molly Christmas. That one's on Disney Plus. I like that one.
Me too.
It's got most of the cast. So, Darkwing connections. We got Jim as Don Carnage. We have Jim as Louie. Good cast. I've mentioned it before. Tailspin has a really good cast. And again, it's basically a is Santa real kind of storyline. Spoiler alert, he is, at least in this universe. Then there was a Goof Troop Christmas special, which you will not find on Disney Plus because it isn't technically part of the syndicated run or ABC. It was its own special, and for some reason it's not there. Have you seen it?
Yes.
You have seen it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one they go to Colorado and Goofy blows up the house and destroys all the presents and ruins everything for everybody because he's Goofy. But again, Goof Troop's a fine show. I haven't talked too much about it, but we got Jim as Pete. Love Jim Cummings as Pete. And of course, this is right up my alley. There was a Bonkers Christmas episode too.
You and Bonkers.
Hey, I'm sorry. I marathoned all 65 episodes last month.
Oh my goodness.
I'm still high on it basically. But it was called Miracle on the 34th Precinct, I think it was called. Another Santa Claus episode. Not one of the better ones. Later in the production, I've mentioned it before, by the time Bonkers gets to the last 15 some odd episodes, the whole show kind of craps out. Like nobody cares anymore. All the writers and directors kind of give up. And this is one of the later ones, and it's not all that great. Animated at Kennedy, so it should give you an idea what it's like. It's not great. The Goof Troop episode was animated in France. It's a good one. Tailspin's a good one. The Darkwing Duck one is great. The Bonkers one, no, I would not recommend it at all, unless you really want to see it. And I don't think we've mentioned this at all yet, maybe on the Facebook group, but during the first year of Darkwing Duck, they actually created special commercial bumpers for each holiday. New animation featuring all the characters interacting. Yeah. They did one for Halloween, which we have posted, where Darkwing thinks Tuscanini's going after Kit and Molly. It's actually Baloo.
Yeah.
They did a Thanksgiving one, which seems to be lost. No one's ever put it up on YouTube. I haven't seen it since it aired. And there was a Christmas one, which is available on YouTube. Beautiful quality. We are going to put it up for you guys to see it. It's got all the kids, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, Kit. It's got Goslin and Honker. It's got Drake. It's a really cool commercial. It's just 20 seconds long, but to see all the characters interacting is really cool. They put that kind of effort into it for just a commercial that they would never air again, which is cool. So you got a few Disney afternoon Christmas shows. The Goof Troop one isn't on Disney Plus, like I said, but it was put on DVD, so you can still find it. So it's still pretty easy to see.
All right. So let's move on from Disney.
Yeah, I think we're totally good with Disney now.
Yeah, we're definitely good with Disney. All right. I have two movies that I particularly watch every single year. One of them I'm gonna have a little discussion with you about. Okay, one of them, the first one is Jingle All the Way.
Right.
I watch that movie traditionally every year, and there's one thing that's always bothered me about that movie, and I think that's why I have to watch it every year.
What's that?
It's the Sinbad and Arnold rival in the movie. Sinbad is the villain and Arnold's the hero. He's the protagonist. But I always felt, why was Sinbad the villain? Because he's doing the same thing that Arnold's doing in the movie. He's trying to get that one toy for his son, and they're both late in the game. So why is it that Arnold can play dirty in it, and then when Sinbad plays dirty, he's the bad guy?
Well, Arnold's the last action hero, man.
But you get what I'm saying, though. It's
why couldn't it have been the other way around, basically?
Yeah, why couldn't it have been the other way around, or why couldn't they both just been the good guy, and you kind of you could be rooting for one or whatever.
My guess is Arnold was such a big draw at that point.
Oh, of course,
you couldn't do it any other way. I mean, around the same time, the Terminator turned into a good guy in Terminator 2.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Like I said, so Arnold was, everyone's friend at that point. So having him be the good guy just made sense.
And rest in peace, Phil Hartman. He was in that movie too.
Oh, I love Phil Hartman. We are so far away from Paddywhack. I just want to talk about Phil Hartman.
All right.
We'll get there, though.
Yeah, we'll get there. The second movie is Bill Murray's Scrooge. I don't know what it is about that version of A Christmas Carol, but I love it, man. I watch it every year. I think just it was because I was stuck in my Ghostbusters phase and Space Jam, where Bill Murray was just the man. So I really enjoy it, you know.
Yeah, Bill Murray's great.
Yeah, I love that one, and I love the ending too, where they all sing that one song, "Put a Little Love in Your Heart." Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah. I love the ending on that, where the whole cast comes alive and they're all singing and dancing. And, it's just great. It's a great Christmas one. My wife now, every year we have to watch the first Home Alone. It's mandatory from her. We have to watch the first Home Alone, and I do love Home Alone, so I don't have a problem with it. Sometimes I kind of wish she would force us to watch the second one, because I do enjoy the second one too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Home Alone, kind of. I'm so hot and cold on Home Alone. If I'm in a good mood and I watch it, I enjoy it. But then there are times I'm just like, I watch it, I'm just like, oh, give me a break. Like, how much money does this family have? How do you forget a kid? How do you forget your kid?
Now, I do try to watch the Charlie Brown one. I don't watch it every single year, but I think I go at least every 2 to 3 years where I watch that one.
Yeah. The Charlie Brown one is up there with Muppet Family Christmas. If I don't watch it, I've done something horribly wrong with my month. And Rudolph. And Rudolph.
Now, outside of Disney, these movies I don't watch faithfully every year, but they kind of go in my rotation. I do like the OG Grinch movie.
Of course, the original Grinch.
Yeah,
that's great. I love that. You're talking about the 1960s cartoon, right? Not the Jim Carrey one, correct?
No, not the Jim Carrey one.
Okay, thank you.
Just like you mentioned earlier, Gremlins. National Lampoon Christmas Vacation. I don't know why. I don't have an excuse for why I don't watch that one more often, but because I enjoy that one. I need to start throwing that more in my rotation.
It's not bad. We watch it every Christmas Eve. My wife's uncle insists on putting it on every time we have Christmas Eve together, and we all enjoy it. It's a fun movie. I mean, my daughter's getting old enough to actually pay attention to it now, so I'm not really sure how appropriate it is for her anymore, but we'll see what happens. Christmas Eve is so crazy, that she might not even pay attention this year.
Okay.
And Gremlins, you mentioned Gremlins.
Yeah, I'm just gonna name drop. I'm not gonna talk about these movies, but these are some that every once in a while, maybe every 4 or 5 years, I'll give them a watch. Elf, The Polar Express, Christmas Story.
Christmas Story is a big one for me too.
Oh, that one is?
Well, all you gotta do is turn on TBS on Christmas Eve, and there it is.
Okay. The Preacher's Wife, This Christmas, or the Ryan Reynolds one I like, Just Friends. I do like that one.
Right.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, you never seen that one with Ryan Reynolds, Just Friends? He was like best friends with a girl when he was in high school, but he was all fat and chubby, and she was like the prom queen type. But then he moved away out of high school. He lost a lot of weight, and then he's the hot, Ryan Reynolds guy. And he comes back into town, but he's still stuck in that friend zone. He's trying so hard to get out of it.
It sounds like a Hallmark movie.
It sounds
like a Hallmark movie.
It's not.
You know what? You know what we just watched? Brand new film, and it was actually pretty decent. On Netflix, they have a movie called Klaus. It's a new animated film that's like combo of like hand-drawn CGI. It's basically a Santa Claus origin story.
Oh, okay.
It's actually really good. If you ever get a chance to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to spoil anything by really talking much about it. It's a brand new film. The director took, it was like a passion project for the director. He used to work at Disney, and it's beautifully animated. It's a really good film. I enjoyed it when we watched it recently. So I'm actually, any of our listeners will too. If you got Netflix, if you haven't dumped it for Disney Plus, go check it out. I think it's really, really good. I actually had my doubts about it till I actually sat through it. It might turn out to be a Christmas classic in the years to come. I kind of hope it is. It's pretty decent. Any other films, Will?
I don't watch these. I haven't watched these since like I was a little kid, but maybe I should give them a pop. Like the OG Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph. And
I love those specials.
Yeah, I haven't watched those in forever, man. I don't even remember them.
I love Rudolph. Just like the low tech stop motion. The characters are fun. It's It's one of the ones I think my daughter enjoys most whenever we put it on because it's just cute. I love Frosty too, The Grinch, like you said, and Charlie Brown are like the classics that you have to put on every year if you get around to it.
Do you like the new Grinch, the one that came out like a year or two ago, the Illumination one?
I haven't actually seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I have a big problem with modern Dr. Seuss adaptations. I don't like them. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the original Chuck Jones Grinch is so perfect. Trying to redo it is just a waste of time. That's my opinion. But that said, I haven't seen the new Grinch, but I also don't like Illumination's films.
Okay.
I don't like their movies, so yeah, whatever. I mean, it's bound to be better than the Jim Carrey version.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Give it a shot. I thought it was decent. I enjoyed it. It's not the original. I wouldn't say everybody you have to go see it.
No,
it's not like no. It's a good one-time watch. I enjoyed the music because Tyler the Creator and Pharrell did a lot of the music in it. So I was bobbing my head a lot. Like yeah, this is just riding.
Well, I think it's on Netflix. I'll give it a shot eventually. But like I said, it's bound to be better than the Jim Carrey one. I can't stomach that film, and I've sat through it. Yeah. Any others that you like to watch?
Well, I have one, the big debate one.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Okay, yeah. Is it a Christmas movie or is it not? And we're talking about Bruce Willis's Die Hard.
I think just because Christmas occurs in a movie doesn't actually mean it's a Christmas movie, but that's just me.
I have a friend. He doesn't listen to our podcast, but he's a good buddy of mine that I talk to all the time. His name is Damien, and he will fight you to the ground and tell you it's a Christmas movie.
A lot of people are like that,
though. So shout out Damien. I'm kind of in the middle with it. I get why it's a Christmas movie to some people, and then of course I see why it's not.
But I wonder why. I wonder how many people think it's a Christmas movie, like unironically. Mm-hmm. I wonder how many people just say it's a Christmas movie because they want to be that guy,
Yeah, there's another one that's kind of like in the Die Hard. It's just not as popular. I can't remember the name of it. It's with Samuel L. Jackson. I'm gonna look it up right now. Samuel L. Jackson Christmas movie. Let's see.
And then of course, while you're looking that up, there's lots of films that people consider like holiday movies, even though they're not about Christmas. I mean, the perfect time to watch a movie like Wizard of Oz really is Christmas time. Mm-hmm. A lot of stations air Sound of Music around Christmas time. I have friends who prefer to watch films like King Kong at Christmas time because their channels always used to air it. The Star Wars films, people I know watch at Christmas time. But, they're not technically Christmas movies.
Yeah.
But if you're going to watch those films, Christmas is generally one of the better times to do it. When you have family over, everyone can sit down and enjoy it.
Yeah, the Samuel L. Jackson movie is The Long Kiss Goodnight.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, that's another one that's kind of like in the Die Hard ballpark where people debate, is it a Christmas movie or not? And I think it's mainly because it takes place during Christmas. So I guess that's where that argument is.
Right.
What about Krampus?
I've never seen Krampus.
I have seen it. It definitely takes place in the Christmas. There's a lot of Christmas Santa Claus hats and stuff. But it does come off more as a scary movie than it does.
Well, yeah.
Well, Gremlins does too, though. The original Gremlins. Yeah. I'm gonna give Krampus. I'm gonna say it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So because of Gremlins, I'm gonna give that one a Christmas title.
I didn't mention I absolutely love the very first Simpsons episode was a Christmas special.
Oh yeah.
Yup.
Oh, we gotta give a shout out to the name of the dog on there too.
Santa's Little Helper. Yep. And if you don't mind watching the Simpsons episodes all cropped and weirdly HD, that's on Disney Plus. And I like the other Simpsons Christmas episode from season, I think it's 7, the one where Bart shoplifts the video game, Marge Be Not Proud. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, he shoplifts a game called Bone Storm. And Marge finds out and she stops mothering him. And it's still when the show is still good. Mm-hmm. So it's that one I recommend too. If you want to check that one out, obviously Disney Plus is the way to go with that. Anything else? Are there any like episodes of TV shows that were Christmas episodes that you remember?
Nothing's popping in my head, but didn't Toy Story have like a Christmas special?
I think it was, what was it? Toy Story That Time Forgot. It's like kind of Christmas adjacent. Not,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they air it every Christmas. There's a
Okay.
Trolls Christmas special that my daughter enjoys.
Mm-hmm.
Um, not really, it's not really Christmas, but it's like they air it every Christmas. But I think we're stretching at this point to find things. I think we've kind of addressed most of the ones we enjoy and wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if you had to name your top two Christmas anything, television, movies, what would you say? Top two.
Top two, I gotta go with Scrooge, man. I love that one. That's my number one. That's my go-to.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
And what else? One more.
I got. I'm gonna say it's a tie between Jingle All the Way and Charlie Brown.
All right.
Hmm.
I love that Charlie Brown special.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah. Funny enough, they're both adaptations of the same story: Mickey's Christmas Carol and the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
I'm
Did
gonna
you
go with those two.
last thing about Christmas Carol, did you like the Smurfs one?
I remember seeing that, but it's been so long since I've seen it.
Okay, so you need a refresher on it.
I would need a refresher. Yeah, I definitely
Okay.
would. Smurfs
All right.
Christmas. Wasn't there one where a sorcerer destroys the entire Smurf village and they all have to sing and it comes back? I don't even
Yeah.
remember. And Gargamel's singing with them too, even though he doesn't want to. I don't
Uh,
remember much about it, but I don't even know where to see this stuff anymore.
I know the Smurf one. It's on Vudu. I believe it's free on there right now. Vudu. Maybe Amazon might have it too.
Oh, maybe my kid would like that.
Okay. Now, last thing before we wrap this up, do you have like a Christmas song you always listen to?
Yeah, I'm so lame. I love Wonderful Christmas Time. I know everybody hates it, but
Hmm.
I love it. Brings back memories of when I was much younger, my childhood. I do love that song. Is it Paul McCartney? What other Christmas songs? You know what? I play Christmas music in the car, all month long. My local radio station switches to Christmas music on Thanksgiving, and
Hmm.
that's pretty much all I listen to. But yeah, Wonderful Christmas Time. I love Sleigh Ride.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a sucker for Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas" and Boyz II Men. They had a whole Christmas album. I'm a sucker for those two albums.
You know what song I can't stand?
What's that?
I don't know if you've ever heard it, but it plays once in a while in my. It's a song about a guy who runs into his old lover in a grocery store, and
Hmm.
they catch up and they drink a 6-pack of beer in the car. And the only reason they play it at Christmas time is because they mention it was Christmas Eve.
Hmm.
And check it out. I forget what it's called, but it's just terrible. That and the Christmas shoes. Have you heard of the Christmas shoes?
No.
Oh my God, Will, you have to check this out. It's a song about a child who's buying Christmas shoes on Christmas Eve. He's buying shoes for his dying mom and
Hmm.
doesn't have enough money to buy it. And the main verse of the song is about how he needs the shoes for his mom in case his mom meets Jesus tonight. And they play this thing on the radio.
Oh, okay.
And just listen to it. And Patton Oswalt did a great stand-up, just totally tearing the song apart. But those are my least. I don't like either of those Christmas songs because they're just so stupid. But yeah, I like most Christmas music though. It doesn't take much to put me in the mood. Are there
Okay.
any songs you don't like?
Um, I guess no. There's nothing that I really dislike on Christmas. I just get into the spirit and everything. So everything's fine for me. There's one song. I think the name of the song is called "Comfort of Joy." I'm a real big fan of it. I don't know if that's the name of the song, but I know the beat goes dun, 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 dun,
Dun,
dun, dun,
dun.
dun. Oh, I love that song.
Tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. That one, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I love that one.
What
Um,
is what is okay? Not related to media. What's the best Christmas present you ever got?
the best present, probably
Mm-hmm.
my BMX bike that my dad got me when on my fifth, when I was 5 years old, man. I was about to turn 6 years old. Oh man, I'll never forget that BMX bike, man. That
I
bike
think we
took me everywhere.
have we talked about that on the podcast before. It
Oh, my
seems
BMX bike?
familiar.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
I
might
thought
have.
you must have really loved that bike because I know you've
Man,
mentioned that.
that bike was everything to me for like about 3 years, man. It took me everywhere. Got in my first fight with
Nice.
it.
But before we close, I'm going to tell a little story here. about basically it's my favorite Christmas present. This is my Christmas story. I think I was 8, and I've mentioned before many, many times that I love Godzilla. That should be no shock to you, Will. And one year for Christmas, the big present, not the Santa Claus present, the mom and dad present, was this big figure of a monster called King Ghidorah. He has these huge, huge wings. And this toy, it wasn't really a toy, it was a collectible. It really wasn't meant to be played with, but it had these thin plastic wings. And the toy was like 2 feet tall. I had it for a day before my father stepped over it, it caught his sock, it fell over, and the wings snapped off.
Oh,
And I don't know if I've mentioned it, my parents are both deceased, so my parents have been gone a very long time.
oh,
And I hung on to the figure as long as I could, but I collect Godzilla stuff. I really couldn't display it; it was broken. So it was garbage. I kept it because it was a memento. In 2013, the first year I was married, my wife bought me a new version of that figure. A friend of mine was selling it. He had it in his collection. He sold it. My wife bought it for him and gave it to me for Christmas. So that was like probably the best Christmas present I ever got. It's definitely the best present my wife ever gave me too. It isn't a bike, but it means a lot to me.
I can't talk what you just said sentimental, but there was one last thing I did want to mention. There is a episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that I really love. It's a Christmas episode, and it's an episode where they get robbed. They're at like a ski resort and they got robbed and everything, and the Christmas is like it's just ruined, and everybody's blaming Will Smith for it. It's all his fault, but then it turned out it was Phil's intern who robbed him, and it's a great episode, like how they were spoiled people and then they got robbed of everything and they still ended up having a great Christmas.
Oh, okay. You know what? I didn't really watch Fresh Prince, but I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think we've like hit everything we possibly could hit.
Yeah, man. So you want to go ahead and wrap this up?
I think we should. So I guess we should wish everyone a Merry Christmas. It's right around the corner now. And message us how your Christmas. If you got any Darkwing Duck stuff, post it on the Facebook group.
Oh yeah,
or on Instagram.
Oh yeah, I love when you guys make me jealous with some of y'all stuff, man. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, some of you guys have some cool stuff.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, you guys have a Merry Christmas. Man, I appreciate everybody who's been listening to the podcast, and we've been getting a lot of feedback as of lately too. So I appreciate that too. You got any shout outs or anything you want to give anybody, or any Facebook groups or anything? Because I know you're adamant on that cartoon researcher group, right?
Right. I mean, that's it's more of a catch-all group. It's anything animation. I do recommend it though. It's called Cartoon Research. Not every post is a winner there, but you still get some pretty good stuff. Disney discussion, Warner Brothers discussion, Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, all sorts of stuff like that. So I'll plug that. It's actually a spin-off of a blog called Cartoon Research as well. So there you go. There's my plug. I promote the podcast on there as well. So yeah, there's my plug.
Okay, I want to give a shout out to Mandy Helvig. Sorry if I mispronounced your last name, but she's actually been newer to the group. Oh, not newer, but she's been kind of new to the group, and she's been very active since she joined.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, so definitely shout out to Mandy.
Yeah, awesome, Mandy. Thank you.
All right, well, Mike, we're going to wrap this one up. You guys have a safe Christmas, and make sure y'all stay dangerous.
Yep, good night, everybody. Merry Christmas.